Here we go, Adam and Mike with Just the Tips, podcast episode 7.
7, man.
It's amazing how quick it goes, right?
Yeah.
But talking to you guys this week about getting those winter gains. So, like I said, hopefully everybody's had a good New Year. We're a week in. We're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, hopefully you guys are hitting the simulators as much as we are and getting that practice in.
Yeah. So long story short is we're here in the Northeast. I mean, as we're watching our followers all around the world, but especially you guys down south. Oh, it's cold in Texas. It's 55 degrees. Oh, it's cold in Florida. It's 72. This morning was 24. We're expecting a foot of snow this weekend.
Yeah, we're getting anywhere between 0 to 12 inches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it definitely stinks. I know that like some courses are, have been trying to stay open for as long as they can, but it looks like this weekend is going to be the last weekend for a little while.
Yeah. So it's forcing us all indoors. But again, I don't know about you, man. When I was a kid, not only was there no such thing as a simulator, but once the bad weather hit, that was kind of it for golf. I mean, I can think about being like super advanced and having a blue tarp in my garage and hitting balls.
Yeah, I was never that serious when I was a kid. I did have a buddy that they would practice with the softballs in the garage and stuff like that. But that's when you see those stories of a club getting stuck up into the ceiling and stuff like that.
Oh, I had them fire through those blue tarps, man. Those things aren't as strong as you think they are. But today it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, today if you have a big enough space and a halfway decent budget, you can build something very special. We've been fortunate to partner with a number of simulators. We mentioned it last week, but it's worth mentioning again.
So what do we got? We got Pink's Links.
Pink's Links in Bronx, in New York, a brand new simulator complex. Awesome stuff.
Northway 8 has the same simulators.
But Northway, they're on a very different kind of level. They're bringing that training. When you go up there, I mean, that's club performance, swing management, super fitting. It's a different vibe.
And then Innis just got theirs.
They got the quad. Shout out to Miles and Jeff. Yeah. Again, that's a great place to go, and an unbelievable whiskey selection as well. So nothing wrong with them.
And then Wilwick. Wilwick has theirs, and obviously all season last season we were able to get in there and look at some of our numbers. Yeah. And then, the RS Performance Center, of course.
The RS Performance Center in an undisclosed location somewhere in the woods of Ulster County.
But I'll be honest, I love the RS Performance Center because, we'll play 18 holes, but also we get to look at our numbers. We get feedback. We're really working on things. I'm definitely working on things in this off season, which we're going to get into. But I don't feel like when we go to Alapaha also, which we haven't mentioned also, is you go to Alapaha and you get you book it for 2 hours.
Yep.
And you're rushing around. Whereas I don't get to like work on my swing. I just play.
So it's funny. The other day we had a Christmas party for the guys at work, and we brought them out bowling for the afternoon. Instead of going to work, we just went out and had a couple of appetizers, some drinks.
Sounds fun.
But the new bowling alley that we went to was a timed lane.
Yeah.
That I couldn't believe the dynamic, because normally you go and you're like, oh, we'll play 1, 2, or 3 games, right? And a game of bowling is a game of bowling. It takes the time it takes. But this was a timed lane. They said you got the lane for an hour and a half. The dynamic of what that did to our game was bananas. You had some people that were rushing because they wanted to get as much bowling in. You had some other people who were lackadaisical that were frustrating the other people.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that with the simulator, because I have to do the same thing. I go in. I know I got the work that I need to put in. I want to play a little bit, but I want to maximize the time.
Well, you also do a lot of stuff by yourself, right? Like you'll take a Saturday afternoon and go to a simulator, whereas like if I'm doing that, I'm like booking those 2 hours. I got to know a couple days in advance, make sure I know what the kids' schedule is like. So I want to make the most of that 2 hours of like, I want to play 18 holes, and I want to get 18 holes in. Whereas like now, especially with our partners being so cool, like we can kind of take our time and not rush, but I really want to work on this swing change in the winter.
So, I mean, I think the big thing is again, with the simulator, you get kind of feedback that you don't get on the range. Now, when we were up at Northway, they had the outdoor ranges with the simulator or the TrackMan, set up along with it. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. But that's kind of rare. Everywhere else is you got a simulator. No kidding. So when you think about a simulator, what's your main objective when you're looking at all the numbers?
Mine?
Yeah.
Club path.
Yeah.
Club path and club face.
Yep. So the nice thing about the quad is it gives you really good feedback as far as
you gotta have the stickers on the face to give you those extra numbers. An extra little window pops out. But to me, that's what I'm focused on in this off season and probably every off season.
So I really look at a couple of things. My first indicator is swing speed. I've had my challenges over the last couple of years with my swing speed varying, and this we'll talk more about it in a second. But this year is the winter of speed. But I look at launch angle. I don't know what the launch angle should be. I know what it is. I don't know if it should be lower. I don't know, if a 15-degree launch angle with an 8-degree driver, that seems bad to me.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely should be. We need to, kind of look at what the numbers need to be. But first and foremost, we got to get our base numbers anyway. So as we're in there in these first couple times, let's set our base number.
And then I look at RPMs. It's amazing. This is something I never took into consideration until I started getting into the simulator. But how that ball travels RPMs, but not only backwards but side spin. And what's amazing is that you can watch that along with the swing speed and the efficiency to figure out how far you're hitting it. And then what you kind of come up with after a while is if my efficiency's good, my path is good, my launch angle's good, and my RPMs are good, and I want to hit it farther, there's only one thing left to do.
Yeah.
Get in the gym.
And also hit it in the center of the face. But I think all of them really are interconnected, So like you were just saying, launch angle and spin rate.
Yep.
I swing harder than you, but sometimes if I'm not catching it, you're hitting the ball 10 yards further than me.
Yep.
And it's because of that spin. So and then that is smash factor, efficiency rate.
So one of the things I've noticed is I traditionally hit a draw, although I can hit a cut. You hit a cut to a slice, but you're working on straight to left.
Yeah.
The difference in the RPMs, at a cut at 3,500 RPMs to a draw that's sometimes under 2,000.
Yeah.
And so we always knew that if you drew the ball, it would roll out farther. If you hit it fade,
yeah, but
it would
now look at my swing speeds. What?
104.
4 miles an hour faster than yours?
At least on average.
And
easily.
my cut with 35 to 4,200 spin rate is 30 yards shorter than your draw.
It's so
with a 100 mile an hour.
It's sucking up all the distance on you. So you
and it's got backspin.
Yeah. Yep.
Backspin.
Well, it's backspin at 3,500 and then side spin at 1,000.
At 9 million.
Yeah. where mine's 2,000, 2,200, but side spin is in the it's 300, 200, 500.
Yeah.
So when my ball's hitting, it's hitting and it's rolling out. When your ball's hitting, it's just stopping.
Oh yeah. And trust me, especially this past year with the rain.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of that boop, and then come back.
So that's bad on the driver, but is that good on the irons? I mean, you hit a lot of greens,
I mean, if you're hitting on the green, yeah, but then now you're talking a whole other set of numbers. So like that swing speed changes, that launch angle changes. So that's what we, honestly, tonight we're going home and I'm finding a chart of what it needs to be, and I'm printing it out. I'm laminating that thing.
There you go.
And then we can put a little dry erase like where our numbers are.
Yeah.
And then change them.
And that's the whole thing it's about, tracking, and we're both working on something that's important. Our main objective, our main goal for the season. And yours is significantly more robust. I mean, all I'm trying to do is get faster. I'm really happy with the plane. I'm really happy with the numbers. There's some small tweaks, and Jeff Mesa yelling out to you, man. You can certainly help us out a little bit. Tweak out these numbers and modify stuff. But you're making a major swing. I mean, maybe the biggest swing change I've ever seen anybody make.
Yeah, and these walls are going to be my friend. Especially this brick wall. I should probably come down here and do it a little bit more. But yeah, so working on coming inside out, working on, arm path, really shoulder, elbow, hand path, and getting that club to come from the inside. It's something that has eluded me the 41 years I've been on this planet. I've been working on it the last few times at the RS Performance Center, but I think I figured out what's getting me.
Let me ask you a question though. I mean, you're a good player. You got a great short game, and many quality players. Some of the best players in the world naturally hit a ball left to right. What's the purpose of trying to hit it right to left after all these years?
So, I mean, I need to have that shot, right? Like to be able to draw the ball around a tree or whatever I need.
Number 4 at Wiltwick.
Yeah, any dog leg left, I gotta not hit the ball 30 yards right. But mainly distance, right? I lose a lot of distance, and if I can make that a fade, like a little tiny 5-yard fade, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But it's not that. And then my misses are even worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I really think it's just to bring it in here. Mm-hmm. So even if it still is, which we've seen in the simulator is a still slight outside in, like a 1.5, but with a neutral face, I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah, we've seen it on some tight holes where you literally can't hit the ball with the driver.
If there's any trees right here hanging over, I'm done.
Yeah.
Number 8 at Wiltwick, par 3, right? Little par 3. There's trees about 60, 70 yards out, hanging over that really are not in play, but they come into play sometimes for me because it just needs to be where the ball goes. Yeah. Plus, that's me chickening out because I've hit that cart path on the right side many times too.
Yep. So one of the things that watching you kind of work on this you can talk about it, but I sit there and I go, if you're used to hitting the ball to with a line down the middle to the left and having it swing back into the right. Now, how hard is this swing thought to get it to start on the right side of the hole and bring it back into the left?
Dude, we did that the last time we were at that performance center I remember actually like starting my downswing and I was purposely trying to hit it like right of the second baseman. Mm-hmm. And last second, I was like, oh, this is going to go, I felt like it was going to go straight right. So all of a sudden I overcorrected and took that shoulder over and yanked it. And I gotta get that out of my head, but I also like instead of going from here to there, like I should probably go from here to here to here to here to here to get over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen anybody make such a dramatic swing change, and I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do. So I don't know how to get.
But also to get over here, I need to over exaggerate. So even to get to here, I need to think that I'm getting to here because there's been plenty of times when I'm like, oh, that's definitely inside to out. Like it feels like so different from like what I'm used to. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's three out to in. I'm like, what?
So maybe, I know you're working hard. Maybe, the 1, 2, or even 3 things that you're doing specifically that if somebody was watching this podcast and they wanted to get an inside out swing and try and draw the ball, maybe they could do what you're doing.
So, couple things, and I am documenting it, so we're gonna keep an eye on that. I want you guys to take a peek at that if you are interested. But one of the big things that I'm working on is the wall, right? So being up against the wall, standing up against the wall, have my butt touching, right? I know we talk a lot about my butt cheeks the other day,
we've had extensive
there's going to be a lot of butt
conversations.
cheek talk right now, all right? So standing up against the wall at a dress, and you take a club or a wooden stick is what I was using, and I bring it up to the top, and it's touching the wall. Let's start over. Both butt cheeks touching the wall. Bring it up to the top. Right butt cheek touching the wall. And what you want to do is you want to drag this club and leave it on the wall as long as you can. Come back to, I would say weight shift is 50-50 now. Both butt cheeks are touching the wall. Keep that on the wall as long as you can, and then come down to impact. Left butt cheek on the wall, right butt cheek off. That's what I'm working on. So if you want to say 3 things, I would say that's probably...
How often are you doing that? 'Cause every time I turn around, you're standing up against the wall.
I mean, all day at work, I'm carrying around the stick. Just at any given moment if I get a second. Realistically, I haven't done the wall thing when I'm like at a simulator, so I do need to do that. I'm going to get up there this weekend.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm doing it all day at work.
Yeah.
And I'm scared. I'll be honest, guys. I'm going to say this. I haven't said this yet to anybody. I'm scared because I've actually taken a real swing up against the wall, and my left butt cheek, the second I start my downswing, everything comes off the wall and forward, like kind of at a 45-degree angle. And it's very hard for me to, with a real swing, keep my left butt cheek on that wall.
Yeah. And
drive that hip back up against the wall.
So stay tuned in future episodes for the progression of Mike's left and right butt cheek. That's
going to be the thumbnail.
So number 1 is the wall drill. What's something else that you're doing?
Putting down two alignment sticks at probably a 45-degree angle.
Pretty severe.
And really trying to stay inside those. I'll tell you, I've whacked many alignment sticks in the last couple weeks. Yeah. Trying to come inside there. And then the big one is the cone. Mm-hmm. I'm setting up the cone back in the backswing. I'm trying to stay outside of it on the way back and inside of it on the way in. But I will tell you, doesn't work because my body is so used to compensating in one way or another that it finds a way to still hit my traditional shot, even though I'm coming underneath that cone. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where I've kind of figured out it's the hip thing.
Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit. Now I tried the cone drill. Terrifying. Because all I know is I'm going to hit that thing with my driver with a full swing. I'm going to break my wrists. Yeah. And I mean, so the concentration that it takes you to get outside the cone and back in. But my natural swing, and I hit a draw, is inside the cone to inside the cone.
That's natural for you. For me, if I go inside, the only place I can go is outside. Yep. So that was the whole concept of let's flip that on its head and go out, and then the only place you have is in. But then it turned, I don't know if it happened then, or maybe that's just what my problem has been the whole time, is out and then in, but then hip comes forward. Yeah. So then this comes back across.
And it's
yeah.
All right.
Or realistically, I understand. I'm starting to feel with what a closed face really is supposed to feel like. So it's over the top with a shut face or a square face to my path, and then it's a dead pull.
Right.
I mean, I pipe it, but
it is long and wrong. Now, one of the things is I saw you hitting a really nice, pretty little draw the other day with an 8-iron and a driver, and it started out swing path perfect, but it was at 25% swing speed, 40% swing speed.
I've had nightmares every night since then. I'm so angry you brought that up. So, at address, bring it to here, turn, extend, hit. Yeah. And it's very hard to do, by the way. 25% swing path was 3 degrees inside out, 1.5 inside out. I think there was a 5 in there, inside out. Yeah. So that also kind of helps me realized that I need to start getting in the correct position on the start of the backswing. Like the backswing is really causing some of the issues.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can get to here and here, I just watched a George Gankis video that is really, he's sitting at like his kitchen table explaining this. It's amazing. You should watch it. But it totally makes sense. And I think working on this position
Mm-hmm.
and the left hip, I'm going low this year, dude.
I know you're going
I'm
low.
going low.
It's going low and the bigger thing I'm excited about though is your ability to start the ball somewhere in the middle of the fairway and still be in the fairway. Because right now you got to take it over. You got to take it over the rough. You got to take it over the water. You got to take it around the trees.
And listen, I'll be honest.
And you still play well.
Part of me is kind of like doesn't want to do this because, listen, water up the left. I'm not afraid of it. All right, dog leg right all day.
Yep.
But now that I did in the simulator start hitting some hooks.
Mm-hmm.
Now both sides are in play. That's what I'm gonna realize.
Welcome to my world. There's nothing, a block and a duck hook in the same round is no bueno.
Duck hook, snap hook.
So again, it's a mission you're on. You've done some incredible things in your life with training, with your body. Any final kind of thoughts or any advice you'd give people?
I think the big thing is just stick to it, man. Yeah. Like, and that's like something, especially with golf, right? Like a lot of people don't do it. Like they'll practice a couple things on the range, and then they'll be like, all right, let's go play. And they'll be like, all right, let me not do the things I'm practicing on because I want to play well.
Yeah.
And then they just totally not do it.
Yep.
And I'm fully committed to doing this. At least I would say next 30 days.
Yep.
No, absolutely guaranteed till we go away.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I have some sort of a decent swing by then, and then continue it on, all the way through, and then hopefully I'm good. But I'm gonna stick to it. Because the big thing is like, listen, I'm a personal trainer,
mm-hmm.
right? Like you said, I've done some pretty cool things in my career of, competitions that I've won, things that I've done and achieved. And I think that this is just like another
They got this stupid sticking ball that won't go where you need it to go.
Yeah. The little white ball. And the crazy thing to me is like, this ball's sitting still, right? I play baseball, right? You're trying to hit a 85-mile-an-hour baseball, a moving ball with a moving bat. I could do that too.
Yep.
This little ball sitting there with a flat face can't hit straight.
That's incredible. So, like I said, we'll keep you guys updated on Mike's journey. Mine's a little different.
Let's talk about yours.
A little simpler. Like I said, as I've gotten back into golf, I lost a lot of weight. I lost about 70 pounds in 2021 into 22, but I didn't do it right. I wasn't working with you at the time. And I lost, not only did I lose weight, but I lost a lot of muscle, and I lost an incredible amount of swing speed. As a matter of fact, there was some talk about regular shafts, right? Which
senior flex.
Yeah, no, please. But I went all through 2023 trying to gain swing speed, but really I couldn't play into it. Right?
I think we hit something the other like 2 weeks ago when we discussed of like, when do we swing hard?
Yeah. So when we go to, our course, unfortunately, has an irons-only range. And it shouldn't prevent us from swinging hard, but you're trying to hit a target. It's more, you're trying to shape your shot. And when you're on the course, you're not going to swing 90%, 100%. You're swinging that 80% shot to hit your shot with the driver down the middle. And I know some of you guys, you have one speed, you have 100%, and that's all you got. But when you're playing at a high level, usually in that 80 to 85%, you might be able to goose it and get a few more yards out of it. But rarely,
if you can, tee it high, let it fly, definitely. But on our course, you don't really have an opportunity to just let it rip. So you're never really swinging at your max speed. So
it's no wonder that throughout an entire season, my swing speed stayed in the mid-90s, which is, like I said, it's kind of a scary place. I heard something, as I try to approach scratch, somebody said that if you can't hit the ball more than 230, you can't be a scratch player on contemporary courses, right? And
well, I think they're talking about length, like these longer courses.
Yeah.
And
So,
I mean, we saw that.
So all year I'm in the 230 neck of the woods. You hit a good one out 240, 250. But you're playing these. And I don't want to say young kids because some of the guys are older than me, and they're blasting it past me by 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 yards, and they're playing a different game. So we talked about efficiency. We talked about all this other stuff. There was only one way to hit the ball farther, and that's to get stronger. So we put in a few things. We've been at about 2 months with just the fitness side of it.
Yeah, so doing the fitness golf class Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Really been working on everything that we need to do for the golf swing, right? So you'll see on Instagram, there's tons of videos of do this to swing harder, this and that. And everything is always like a rotational thing, but it doesn't have to be that, right? So I've worked it into our workouts where we're just lifting weights, right? We're getting stronger and healthier as an overall being. And that in general is going to make you hit the ball further, live longer. That's also a thing that we should probably try to do as well.
Play golf a long time.
Yeah. So, if you're overall in a better shape, you're going to hit the ball.
So you've been saying this, but I've been no. I'll play my way into shape. And it didn't work. Matter of fact, if you take a look through my 2023, we worked out all winter long and did a nice job. And I came out in the spring playing good golf, mid-70s. As I stopped working out, because I said I don't have time to work out and play golf and work, so I eliminated working out. My scores.
Pick that other one.
My scores. I should have stopped working. My scores rose and rose and rose, right? Yeah. And then we knew the club championship was coming up and things like that. We started working out again. The scores came down until I was shooting in the mid-70s again. So about November, we got serious about fitness.
No, I'd say September we started 75 hard.
75 hard, but that's its own project.
Yeah, but we also then you started doing more work. 2 workouts a day, eating better, drinking your water, not drinking alcohol, and really kind of getting into your side of things. And then that's when those numbers started coming down.
The numbers came down with 75 hard, but the swing speed was still the same. Yeah. So November, we got into the gym in earnest. Not crazy, because you still got Thanksgiving and holidays and stuff like that. But, 3 to 4 quality days a week, lifting weights with a little bit of golf thrown in. But we got in the simulator at January 1st, and we started looking at swing numbers. They gained 5 miles an hour in 2 months. And we didn't do anything crazy. We worked out.
Yeah, and we weren't like I wouldn't say that it wasn't not crazy, because we were doing our ball slams, we were doing our bands, we were doing weights, we were doing cardio. Yeah. So it wasn't not crazy, but it wasn't I wasn't sitting there making you take a sledgehammer to a tire, which I got a sledgehammer over there.
So we get up to the simulator, and I'm consistently right around 100. Topping out 100, 102. But we're watching simulator numbers with drives that 250, 260. Then I do a bunch of research, and you'll see we posted on TikTok and Instagram the 3 swings, the 10 swings 3 times a day, max speed, and we were doing it in the simulator. But all of a sudden, max speed, you start finding out, is max speed. Now, you told me something a long time ago that the only way to do pull-ups, to get better at doing pull-ups, is to do pull-ups. When I started working with Mike, I couldn't do 1 pull-up. And he's like, you got to do them. And then you put the bands down and you do pull-ups on the band. But this is like the same thing. So maybe you can explain that concept, that the only way to swing faster is to swing faster.
Well, in that video that we put together, Adam does a very good explanation of like what we need to do. And we've talked about this, where 10 swings as hard as you can, 101%.
Yeah.
Right. But you do need to have a healthy base, right? You don't want to pull anything. You don't want to hurt anything. You don't want to shatter anything, because you are swinging as hard as you can, which we don't do. No. Like, to come back to that, we don't swing. And you said even good players 85%, right? So what we're trying to do is get your 100% up higher, so that now your 85% is higher, right? So now your good smooth swing is now going another 10 yards further. You know what I mean?
But it was exciting to play with that simulator and go, okay, we go up day one. What's the farthest we hit it? Oh, 270. Next day 277. Next day 279. Next day had one. Maybe it's a glitch. I don't know.
But again, you're not going to be able to train those muscles in that way unless you do it. Right. Same thing with like anything in this gym, right? You go to pick up a 55-pound dumbbell. You're not going to be able to do it right away, right? So let's start with the 25s, and then we'll go to the 30s, and then 35s, right? And get into it. But that's how the body works, right? You have to do that specific exercise in order to get good at it, right? You're not going to, you're not going to be able to do pull-ups by doing push-ups.
Right, which again is a funny concept, because that seems to resonate with most of us. I can't do a pull-up, so I'll work out my whole body and get my body
strong. Not do pull-ups.
So I can do pull-ups.
Yeah.
No. The golf equivalent of that is like I'll hit my 5-iron a lot so I can hit my driver farther. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I'll tell you one even better, right? So I've been a personal trainer for going on 17 years now, and I used to teach the most badass boot camp in the Hudson Valley. Yeah. And I mean, we're talking, I've snapped a couple clipboards, I've punted a couple waters across fields, like a mean boot camp. But then when people would see me who weren't doing my boot camp, they're like, you're that boot camp guy, right? I'm like, yeah, you should come check it out. They're like, no, I'm gonna get in shape before I come do your boot camp. I'm like, wait a minute. So you think that you need to get in shape before you come to get in shape? And that's the same thing. Yeah. Like, what are you going to do? Like, this is the thing that gets you in shape.
So I was looking at different swing trainers, and they're expensive too, by the way. Yeah. Your driver is $500. These things are almost $500.
Yeah, I think the big thing is the app. The program that's supposed to come along with it.
But this is the thing.
You don't need a program.
You need to swing that club hard. And I have noticed, because I've been doing it in the backyard when I'm not in the simulator, it's way better to do it in the simulator. It's way better to make ball contact.
Yeah, you definitely got to make ball contact. Yeah. Even if it's
firing them into the neighbor's backyard. No.
Don't you have a solar panel field in your backyard?
They used to.
Even if it's hitting the foam balls or something like that into a tarp or a net or something like that, you definitely do need to make that contact. I will tell you, from my own experience, like, my practice swing is amazing. My practice swing is a 10.
Yeah.
My regular swing comes right back over to the top and is not a 10. Yep. So making that contact with that ball, with that hand-eye contact full speed, it'll definitely make a difference.
So we're very fortunate. I know I'm extraordinarily fortunate to partner with Mike. He's got every tool and piece of equipment in the universe to work on. But what's funny is that you always say that you don't need a full-blown gym. You don't need everything to get strong, to get fit. If you could give our viewers maybe one piece of professional advice, the couple of things that they could do to get stronger that will help their golf game this year.
There's a couple things, right? Like, so especially if you don't have access to a gym or you're very, very busy, a kettlebell, right? I always tell people, get yourself a kettlebell. You can bring it with you if you're, going away on weekends and things like that. It is such a versatile piece of equipment. You can do so much stuff with it, upper, lower, core, swing movements, anything like that would definitely help. If you do want to get a rack of dumbbells, and I'm not talking like the whole rack, 10s to 80s. I'm talking like, get a pair of like 10s, 20s, 30s, right? Something like that, and you can get a full-blown workout with that, which you've noticed going away, staying at hotel gyms. I don't care what's in a gym down there. As long as there's a couple things, I can make a full workout out of it. Yeah. And then, if you really wanted to, get technical, get a set of bands. The bands with the handles, because you can just attach them to anything, and you can turn
What's that one you were doing with the bands? It's this thinnest little band, and this thing is the most horrifying thing. You look at it. It's just this little band.
Oh, the one with the goes around the back of your hands. That one.
Yeah.
So those are the little bands. I was talking about the ones with the handles, which are good. Yeah. But even the little, I think they're called therapy bands, to be honest. Wrap them around the back of your hands. You can do these guys. You can do these guys. I usually I'll put them around like a handle and do rotator cuff stuff. Yeah, dude, I mean, anything I can turn, like, I'm like the MacGyver when it comes to this stuff like that.
I see we were in Puerto Rico and Mike's like disassembling one machine to make another machine work. He's like, hang on to this.
Totally work, too.
We'll close out in a second, but what's your opinion of push-ups?
Do them. I think I was 18 years old and I started working out in a big box gym at this time. I was working out at my gym in college, and then big box gym. It was kind of scary. It's Gold's Gym. This guy was probably 57, was in the most amazing shape. I finally had the guts to go up to him and ask him what he does. He goes, do 100 push-ups every day. Most amazing shape I've ever seen any person in person. 100 push-ups every day.
There you go.
Do them.
Yep.
And same thing. The only way to get good at push-ups is to do push-ups, right? I don't care who you are, but if you can bench press 315 or whatever maximum amount of bench you can do, still not going to help you do push-ups, so do push-ups.
Yeah, there you go. Well, like I said, we covered what we needed to cover. We talked about, our simulator partners. We talked about, what we're working on as far as our swings.
So stay tuned for that, because we're going to put out a lot of footage of, stuff that, my progress, your progress. Mm-hmm. So I'm documenting mine just to show you guys that I'm dedicated.
There you go. And it'll be exciting. And then, like I said, we're, let me think about it. 12 and 25 is 37 days away from our next golf getaway. So
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's counting it down. Snowing this weekend. If it's snowing, it's blowing. We're going to a simulator somewhere. If you got one you want us to come and check out with you, just give us a call in the comments here, and we'll be out with you. With that said, I'm Adam.
I'm Mike.
Just the tips.
Yo!